Hey there guys, this is Sam
and Justin
at the Survival Review, and today we're going to be talking about the wonderful sequel to Robocop, Robocop 2.
It's a very mixed bag.
Yeah, it has its ups and its downs.
And like it's had some really good moments.
Mm-hmm.
But
Some
there's
fantastic moments.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bad moments. So
yeah. I guess let's get into the plot.
The plot it takes place a few years after the first movie, where Robocop has always been established as a really major crime fighter and stuff like that.
Yes.
And he's going after the drug kingpin. What was his name? Kane. Because he has this drug called Nuke, and it's like a really popular drug on the market, and he's trying to take that down. While that's going on, and with the OCP, they're trying to create a replacement for Robocop, like a new model, a Robocop 2, as they call it. So that's kind of like the two major plots going on, without getting too much into it. That's pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to talk about.
But it does get complicated. Not complicated, but a lot does happen. The movie is like an hour and 57 minutes longer than the first movie, and it feels like it's over 2 hours.
Yeah.
It feels really long.
It's a long movie, but for the most part, it wasn't awful.
No, it's not. It's not awful.
It's not a bad movie. Is it a great movie? No, but
by no means.
But one thing that's worth mentioning is that it definitely feels like it had a higher budget.
That's one thing we were talking about. It feels like a bigger budget because obviously they gave more money to it because Robocop 1 was such a success. So it has a bigger budget, but it feels so much trashier.
Exactly.
Okay, the first Robocop has a scene where a guy gets all screwed up from toxic waste and then gets run over and explodes as he gets run over. There's no scene like that in the second one. The second one feels worse.
Yes.
Feels so much trashy.
Just to give an example, there's a scene where... I love this scene, don't get me wrong. But there's a scene where an old homeless woman rolling a shopping cart full of cans gets hit by a car.
Well, almost gets hit by a car.
Oh yeah, she almost gets hit by a car.
Like,
and a man walks up to see if she's okay, but then robs her, steals her purse, runs off, then gets beaten by 2 hookers, and then they steal what he had. If that's not trashy, I don't know what is.
Yeah, like the violence in the movie kind of seems like they're doing it just for violence sake.
Yes.
Because like that's what the first one did, so we got to continue that. And it's not as effective as the first one. It's definitely not. For the cast of the movie, Peter Weller is back.
Yes.
And still great as ever.
Yep.
And the bad guy, Kane, he was okay. He doesn't get much to do in the movie.
Not really.
He's kind of just like there. And then the old man at OCP, they kind of turned him into a villain, which he kind of wasn't in the first movie.
He really did anything bad in the first movie.
I mean, like there's that one, the malfunction scene, and he doesn't look too shocked by it, so it's kind of like that. But he was never like the bad guy.
Yeah.
And this one, he pretty much is the main bad guy. But it was more screen time for Colonel Cochran from Halloween 3, so that I didn't mind it. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Something random. The Robocop costume has a blue tint to it. I don't know. I just find that kind of
it's a much brighter color.
Yeah, it looks kind of weird. Let's try not to make this too mixed up. Let's talk about the positive right now. Yeah.
Effects-wise, it's great. The animatronics on Robocop are ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a scene where he just gets torn apart. It's basically just like an upper half of a torso, upper half, and it looks real. It really looks like it's Peter Weller.
It really does look like it's Peter Weller.
That's the one that's most like surprising effect in the movie.
It was really, really surprising,
and then the stop motion is still good. There's like all the Robocop 2 prototypes that malfunctioned at the beginning.
Yeah,
that was all really good.
Those were really.
And even at the end, the big Robocop 2 machine bad guy, whatever. That was all really good. And that final action scene is a really good combination of stop motion and live action. That really works well. There's some really good action scenes in this movie. One where they raid like Kane's place, wherever at that Not towards the end, towards the middle-ish. And that was a really good action scene. Even the scene at the beginning where they go to a drug factory and like right there, that was actually a really good scene too.
Yeah.
So the action still works. The plot is intriguing because it's a little different in the first movie, involving like them trying to create a new RoboCop and the whole drug like nuke thing.
But it doesn't really work as well.
No.
It's got this kid.
Oh yeah, there's a
punk kid
who ends up taking over the business at the end, and it's just like
I couldn't really get into that.
I don't know. I just found that strange. I don't know. There's some weird. I don't know if they're trying to make it more towards because there's even a scene where, little league baseball kids rob an electronics store.
Yeah, but the thing is, the rest of the movie is never
it's not.
No one would ever take their kid to see this movie.
No, at least they shouldn't have.
I mean, it'd be cool. You'd be a cool parent, but
but
you'd be a bad parent too.
Yeah. Also, the plot, I always found this kind of weird. The plot structure of the movie always kind of threw me off of it. It never really felt right. Robocop went through the, motions as he would, in this type of movie, involving, beginning he's doing stuff, and there's kind of the middle part where he gets taken apart, the middle, dramatic part. And then he becomes, the weird good Robocop, which wasn't that great of a scene. It was kind of And then he gets back to normal, and he raids Kane's factory and stops him. But that's a whole thing, and then it's kind of hard to explain. I'm not good at explaining things. And then there's that, and it almost feels like a whole movie in itself. But then you get the creation of the Robocop 2, and then there's a nearly 20 minute gap with no Robocop.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, the structure of the movie kind of threw me off. I don't know.
It was...
Did that ever happen? I don't know, that kind of felt weird to me.
It really does feel a little...
I don't know what it is about it. Just kind of feels off.
It's just kind of... hectic, There's so much going on.
There's a subplot in the beginning of the movie that doesn't go anywhere, and was actually really intriguing about his relationship with his wife and everything, which was never explored in the first movie.
Yeah.
So when they started doing that, it was really intriguing.
And then they just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, and then it just ended. And okay, rest of the movie, keep going. Also, the movie is directed by Irvin Kershner, the director of a little-known movie called The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, surprising.
This was not his fondest moment. No. And I just found out this was his last movie. That's really sad.
That is sad.
That's just sad. It's a very mixed bag of a movie. I say it's worth, if you like the first Robocop movie, I say give this one a watch. Just don't go in expecting much. And you'll be entertained, but you're not going to get too much out of it. It really tries to emulate the first movie, though. It tries. There's a lot of even the supporting people return, including the police sergeant that we love.
Yeah. He's
back, and even Johnson, the right-hand man to the old man who was
Johnson.
He was in the first movie, not for that much, but he came back. So they tried to keep it in the same vein, but it just didn't work as well. I think it needed Paul Verhoeven's style to really make it a true successor to the first movie.
Yeah, and it just did not have that.
No, not terrible by any means, but a really flawed movie. So, out of 10?
Out of 10, I'm going to give it a 6. 6 out of 10.
I think I'm going to give it actually a 5.5.
Really?
Out of 10, yeah. I mean, to me this is kind of hard, because there's a lot, it takes a really mixed bag of stuff, but it's at least enjoyable while watching it.
Yeah.
At times. Except for the weird 20-minute gap with that Robocop.
It was weird.
It's just kind of it felt like a whole different movie at that point. So that's Robocop 2, a very type movie. I say, like I said, if you like the first movie, you can check it out, give it a watch. It's worthy of seeing compared to the first movie, but just don't expect the awesomeness of the first movie at all.
Just expect some cool fight scenes.
Yeah, cool action scenes. Cool effects.
And
interesting story, but it gets very hectic, like you said, and gets very mixed and doesn't exactly know where it's trying to go and what it's trying to do. Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. Sad thing is, it only gets worse from here.
Yeah. But
we'll get to that when we get to it.
We'll get to that one next time.
Yeah.
But until then, thank you guys very much for watching.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you later.